without my party cannon!
Fillies, gentlecolts, fellow bronies. Please allow me to quote everyone's favorite beloved bubbly bouncing balloon butt bread baking bronco. Twitchy tail means something's gonna fall. But how does that work exactly? Last time I checked, Pinkie Pie hadn't been bitten by any radioactive spiders, so there's got to be a better explanation for this strange sense of hers. We here at Cutie Mark Laboratories have taken it upon ourselves to pool our resources to find out exactly what that is, because, contrary to popular belief and mimetic mutation, magic isn't always the answer. Let's get started. I'm fairly certain any brony who's watching this video already knows what the Pinkie Sense is, but just in case, here's a quick refresher. Pinkie Sense is a strange sort of disaster prediction that revolves around the odd physical movements of one Pinkamena Diane Pie. These involve twitches and movements such as an uncontrollable wagging tail, flopping ears, and all sorts of other things, even in combos and, in Pinkie's own words, doozies. Twilight Sparkle, student of Princess Celestia herself, was unable to figure out exactly how this strange sense operates, yet the answer is rather simple. Pinkie Pie is an earth pony. Earth ponies are one of the 3 most common types of ponies, alongside unicorns and pegasi. First person to say alicorns in the comments gets a party cannon shoved up their plot hole. With there being 3 types of ponies with varying attributes, this is a Class 2 example of what we here at Cutie Mark Laboratories have named the Triforce Effect. Named for the 3 pieces of Triforce because I'm a complete video game geek, this effect can be illustrated in a spectrum that represents 3 elements: power, wisdom, and courage. Power represents physical strength, endurance, and body capabilities. Wisdom represents mental capacity and intelligence. And courage represents the soul, feeling, and nature. Whenever there are 3 living beings, 3 items of magical properties, or 3 of anything else of the sort in a group together, no more and no less than 3, one of them always embodies power, one embodies wisdom, and one embodies courage. There are rarely, if ever, any exceptions to this effect. It appears everywhere, even if it's as subtle as 3 characters with one just being a little stronger, one a little braver, and one a little smarter. Unicorns, being able to use and manipulate raw magic, are on the wisdom end of this spectrum. Pegasi, with their ability to control weather and possession of the most dangerous natural form of travel, are on the courage end. This of course leaves earth ponies, being the most physically fit and often the ones used for hard labor, on the power end. Because of being an earth pony, Pinkie Pie has more of a connection with her body than unicorns or pegasi. In addition, because of her practically limitless energy, she's able to use this connection far more than even other earth ponies. With energy and a connection like that, it's only natural that something like her Pinkie Sense would take form through odd body motions, twitches, and the like. Anyone who's ever dealt with or been a hyperactive child knows that they have a tendency to do things with their body for no obvious reason, such as flapping their arms or bouncing their leg. While an onlooker would think they're just weird or need to use the bathroom, it's actually for a plethora of potential purposes. Some kids do things like that as a nervous habit. Some do it because it's fun to them, and some do it because they're not using that body part for anything else and they just can't let it sit still. And most of the time, they're not even aware that they're doing it. It's something that happens subconsciously. Even as you get older, if you used to do things like that, you still do similar things. They just aren't as noticeable because you've learned to keep them toned down to something that doesn't look as weird to other people.
I'm about to start making jokes because Gavin's stuck in the beer bottle.
Your finger's stuck.
He's trying to be super nonchalant about it. But
about 5 minutes ago, I jammed my finger in this beer bottle and it's just not coming out.
It's turning red.
Twist it.
Oh my god.
Did it.
That made a great pop.
Gavin got his finger
good.
stuck in a bottle of beer.
Wow.
What are you drinking there?
Why would you stick your finger in there, you
I
idiot?
don't know. Jack was saying words. I had to keep
Wait, I was
myself
saying
in
words, and that. So if I start talking again, you're gonna do. Oh, your hand was right over it again. You almost did it again.
Chewing your knuckle, biting your lip, drumming your fingers? Those are all done mostly subconsciously for the same purpose as bouncing your leg, wringing your hands, or flapping your arms. Pinkie Pie being...
Yourself! But that doesn't answer my question, silly.
kind of an adult child, let's be honest. Either hasn't learned or doesn't care that twitching and bouncing is out of place and weird to onlookers. So she keeps doing it, almost entirely subconsciously, because she hasn't made any effort to stop. So of course her Pinkie Sense, also being subconscious, would manifest through properly timed twitches and bounces. But why does her Pinkie Sense exist in the first place? If it was just because of her being an Earth Pony, why don't all Earth Ponies have twitches of that kind? The answer to that can be summed up in 3 letters, ESP. ESP, or extrasensory perception, is a paranormal psychic sense that allows whoever may have it to receive information through the mind even when such information is not normally present to those without it. For example, if one had ESP, they could predict if somebody else was going to come around a corner, or be able to accurately guess things written on a sheet of paper that they are unable to see. This seems rather similar to Pinkie Sense, don't you think? The only real exception is how ESP involves information being transferred directly to the mind, while Pinkie Sense expresses gathered information through twitches and movements. As explained previously, Pinkie Pie's limitless energy plus her magnifying connection to her body means that her ESP doesn't come out as thoughts, but as motions. So over time, Pinkie has noticed patterns such as her tail twitching whenever something's about to fall, or doors opening in Pony's faces after she has that combo of hers that, let's be honest, nobody remembers off the top of their head. Notice how she didn't know what the doozy at Froggy Bottom Bog was. That was a combo she had never had before, because she never previously dealt with Twilight suddenly accepting her Pinkie Sense. The reason she knew what happened at Froggy Bottom Bog, however, was because she's likely had combos related to Froggy Bottom Bog before. After all, it's not a very far away place, and it's home to dangerous creatures just like the Everfree Forest is. Not a stretch to imagine one of those things that happened at her combo means at Froggy Bottom Bog. But wait, I can hear you all shouting. Just because she's hyperactive doesn't mean her ESP would come out through physical movements. That's not how it works in real life. You're right, that isn't how it works normally. However, Pinkie Pie is anything but normal, as I'm sure literally every single Brony can agree. We even get a peek into her mental world in A Friend Indeed, where we see that it's made out of fabric like she's been playing too much Kirby's Epic Yarn. Now let's be honest, people. Do you really think that some pony like Pinkie Pie would be able to develop proper extrasensory perception? No offense to the mare, but with a brain like she's got, she'd have trouble just developing strategies for chess games, let alone a paranormal psychic ability. That's where her being an Earth Pony comes in. Earth Ponies make up for their lack of mental strength with physical strength, developing their own form of Earth Pony magic, something that has, in fact, been confirmed to exist by the people who make the show, so it's not just an excuse. So how did her brain develop ESP through the body? Well, think of it as being like a couple of office workers. One worker, the brain, is given an assignment, ESP. He takes a look at it, then at the other work he has, everything else going on in Pinkie's head, and works on it for about 10 minutes before he gets distracted and tosses it away. The second worker, the Earth Pony Magic, catches the assignment, looks at it, decides he doesn't have anything better to do, and finishes it up. But since it was done by the second worker rather than the first, it has the second worker's feel to it, from the way things are worded to any little spelling errors to the font he used. So it's different from how the first worker would have done it, but with the first worker trying to set up parties, it fell to the second worker to finish it up. And in the end, Pinkie's ESP became linked with her Earth Pony magic and thus her body, rather than her brain. So there you have it, all wrapped up nicely in one little gift bag like the ones you get at a party this spider sense ripping off mare would throw for you on your birthday. ESP plus Earth Pony connections with the body, plus a challenge brain, plus a severe need for decaf equals Pinkie Sense. Such a simple concoction, Zecora probably could have figured it out if she walked into town during that episode. Pinkie Pie, your tail twitches so frantically, I see. This is an obvious physical manifestation of ESP. Shut up, like you could do better. And with that, that about wraps up this episode of Explained. Thank you for visiting Cutie Mark Laboratories, where the unexplained can be explained, the mysteries come unraveled, and magic is never the cop-out answer. Join us next time for more.
Bye.